I've watched a gazillion YouTube guides, and all of them are worthless or don't work. Valve hates me and punishes me with bad teammates, which is why I cannot gain MMR. If this is you, then this video is for you. Before we get into the video, the problem is you, not your teammates, not the guys, not Valve, and not your ISP provider. If you feel offended by this, then close this video as it will not help you. In this video, I will go over 4 main reasons and 1 bonus behind you being unable to get out of the trenches. I'll start with the worst one right off the bat. I've labeled it as the egotistical victim mentality. I'm sure some of you can guess what it is just from the label. It is someone who truly believes that they are much better than their skill bracket and they are cursed with bad teammates, which is why they can't get to a higher bracket. They will watch as many guides on YouTube as possible, but their brain has convinced them that none of these guides will help them because they will always have bad teammates. I've had countless comments on my videos where I see people complaining about the system and saying that these guides are worthless. They don't do anything. Don't get me wrong, even I sometimes get into this mentality, and guess what? I lose most of my games when I'm focused on everything but myself in the game. On top of that, the game experience is so miserable that I question why I even play this game. I'm not here to attack you, I'm here to help you because I know how frustrating this can be. And trust me, once you get out of this mentality, you will enjoy Dota like you did when you first started it. So how do you fix this? Well, you need to ground yourself and give yourself a reality check. When I tend to start drifting into this mindset, I have high MMR friends who watch my games and give me a reality check. In fact, I've even paid for coaching just to get out of this mindset because I genuinely want to enjoy this game as it's a big part of my life. The reality is that if you were even slightly better than your skill bracket, you would be out of it by now. That's just how it is. I was stuck at 9k MMR for 4 months or so. The moment I started focusing on what I could improve about my own gameplay rather than focusing on my teammates, I quickly went from 9.4k to 10k MMR in about 5 days. To make you feel better, there's a very high chance that you are indeed better than everyone in your bracket, but you cannot play at your best because you're too focused on everything outside of your control rather than focusing on your own gameplay. You would be amazed to discover how many mistakes you make in a game once you truly start focusing on yourself. With that said, if you still truly believe that Valve has cursed you and your behavior score is not below 9k, send me your Dota buff in the comment section, not replays, because there are always a few bad games that you cannot do anything about. I will look at your games and give you or myself a reality check for free. The second one is instant gratification. This is the person who never implements what they watch or learn. They watch a bunch of Dota guides on YouTube and resonate with most of them, which gives them a dopamine rush. Oh damn, that's exactly what I do wrong, but guess what? I'm not going to fix it. Instead, I'll watch more guys to keep giving myself the dopamine rush that I strive for every day. What's the solution? It's very simple. Instead of watching an insane amount of YouTube videos, force yourself to implement just a single thing. Start slow. You don't have to implement multiple videos at the same time or even a whole video. Just work on a single thing so that your brain starts to get out of the dopamine fiend mindset. It will take time, but you'll get there eventually. And that's where you will see an insane amounts of improvement, and with that, obviously, you will see MMR gains. The third one is incorrect implementation. This is the person who has a good mentality and actually tries to implement what they learn, but in a half-assed way. They either don't fully trust the advice they try to implement, or they don't fully try to understand what they learned. As a result, what they try to implement actually backfires rather than helping them improve, because in Dota, if you try to do something improperly, it actually makes it worse rather than helping you. The solution is quite simple. If you watched or read a guide and you liked it, that obviously means that you liked it enough to give it a shot. All you have to do is to fully listen to that person who made the guide and trust him as if they're the messiah. I had a student who even after multiple sessions was not improving. This was because in every session we went over the same thing again and again. After a certain point, I got frustrated and told my student that if you do exactly what I suggested you to do for 20 games, and it doesn't work or you lose MMR, I'd refund you for the previous sessions as well. Guess what happened? Well, I don't have to say anything. You can just look at the screenshot on your screens. The fourth one is too much too soon. This is the person who has a good mentality and also properly implements. But the problem is that they try to implement multiple things at the same time and overwhelm themselves. Because of that, in most cases, they cannot see any improvement at all. Dota is a gradual game, and you have to first fix the earlier parts of the game before you move further. I've had students tell me that, oh, I lost this game at 50 minutes because we threw on the high ground, yada yada, but what they don't understand is why the game even went to 50 minutes in the first place. Why did it not end in 30 minutes? I might be increasing my own competition by saying this, but the difference between a bad and a good coach is quite similar. A bad coach will look at your replay and point out a million things you did wrong, resulting in you being overwhelmed and not seeing any improvements. A good coach will look at your replay and point out a few major things that you are doing wrong and give you ways to fix them, and naturally, you will see improvement. There's no point trying to fix your itemization or team fighting if your farming is inadequate. Think about it. Team fights require you to have items. Items require you to have gold, and gold comes from farming. What should you fix first? Don't overwhelm yourself by trying to fix multiple things at the same time. Take it slow, improve one thing at a time, and I can guarantee you will gain thousands of MMR in a very short time. The last bonus category is probably the spiciest one. It is the person who will get offended watching this video and is probably going to drop a comment stating how useless this video is, rather than taking any wisdom out of it and using it to better themselves. Honestly speaking, I don't know what the solution is for this, and quite frankly, I'm aware that I cannot help everyone. Even if a single person benefits from this video, that's enough for me. All I can say is that you should not play Dota if you have this mindset. It's only going to make you miserable.